What has been the hardest thing about being a mom? Oh man.
Got it all figured out, wanna do this right. There's no doubt in my mind, baby, you're the one. And tonight, I am going all the way.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Tia with Tia and the Beasley'S. I'm a mom of 2, and I thought today would be fun to do, since we're all in quarantine and we're all kind of finding stuff to do, I thought it would be fun to do a mom tag or a mom Q&A. Just so everybody can kind of get to know me a little bit and me as a mom, and I can just have some fun and answer some questions. So I have my computer right here, and I'm gonna read through the questions and I'll answer them as we go. And I have my pre-workout because that's really all that works now. If anybody knows me, I could drink other caffeinated beverages all day and still feel tired. This pre-workout has definitely helped me. So although I'm not working out right now, I'm still taking it. Anyway, I'm also recording this on my phone, which is why I have my computer here. I just find it easier to see myself on my phone than on my camera because I have a really old camera that I can't see myself. The screen doesn't flip around. So anyway, that's enough babbling on. We will get started with this mom tag. So before we start this, I'll explain a little bit. Again, I am a mom of 2. I have a 6-year-old. She's almost 7. She'll be 7 next month. And I have a 1-year-old that will be 2 in August. So I am a mom with her hands full. Of anybody with 2 kids, I guess any more than 2 kids, I praise you, because just my 2 kids alone is a lot. And we recently relocated to Washington State about 7 or 8 months ago. We moved from Alaska, and so we're all getting adjusted. We finally adjusted for the most part. You can see my ring light here in the back. That's really annoying. Anyway, so we finally adjusted to everything, and then this quarantine happened, and so now we're kind of readjusting all over again. So that's a little bit about me and my kids and my family, but we can get started with the questions. So the first question is, how old were you when you had your first child? So I had Maya when I was 23. I had just turned 23. My birthday's in February. She was born in May. My only goal in life as a young adult was to not be pregnant on my 21st birthday. I don't know how selfish that sounds now, but I wanted to enjoy my 21st birthday and I didn't want to be pregnant. So instead I was pregnant for my 23rd birthday. But it's okay. I enjoy being a young mom, or was a young mom. It just makes for an easier time, not only for me, but for when my kids are older. Daniel and I will still be young. The next question is, what was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? I would have to say sleeping. Sleeping was the hardest for me, only because I am a stomach sleeper, and after a certain period of time, I could no longer sleep on my stomach for obvious reasons. And so I struggled with that. I struggled to sleep on my back. I would still end up for quite a few months waking up on my stomach because I just, in my sleep, would roll over onto my stomach because that was where I was most comfortable. I obviously talked to my doctor about it, and he always said that the baby is safe and there's plenty of protection in there, and as long as you're not in pain, the baby is fine. I tried to sleep on my stomach for as long as I possibly could, but it eventually became impossible. When I was pregnant with Maya, I got very, very, very big, and so it was very difficult. The next one is, can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? Well, both of my pregnancies were very different. My pregnancy with Maya was very hard. It was hard for a variety of reasons, one of which was I didn't take care of myself. I was not healthy. I didn't do anything that would harm the baby. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, any of those things. But I was not healthy in the fact of eating what my body needed, as far as I just ate what I wanted. And what I wanted was McDonald's 2 times a day. And hence the reason why I gained 100 pounds. But aside from that, I really struggled during her pregnancy. And with Araya, it was completely different. I took care of my body. I still worked out. I ate, for the most part, very healthy. I did have my splurges because I was pregnant, but I tried to maintain a more healthy lifestyle. So it was 2 completely different things. With Maya, the thing I think that I enjoyed most was just being able to say, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna eat it. And that's not a good thing. And looking back on it now, I wish that I had not done that, because it was very hard for me to maintain or get control back of my body once I had her. And so I wish that I didn't do that, but I think that at the time, that is one thing that I did enjoy. And I think with both of my pregnancies, you get treated differently when you're pregnant, not just by your spouse or by people, random people, but by everybody for the most part. And, they say you can get in front of them in line, they'll hold doors for you, they'll offer you this or offer you that. And I think that catering aspect of it is something that you should enjoy while you're pregnant, because your body is doing something amazing and you should take advantage of that. Not to say take over advantage, but if somebody's going to offer something up to you, then I think that it's 100% okay to take it. So the next one is, in your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? So, with being pregnant with Maya, I tried really hard not to ask other people's experiences for a bunch of different reasons. One, because I didn't want to compare my situation to somebody else's, because at the end of the day, that all that was going to do was make me more stressed out, and I didn't want to have to do that. So I tried not to hear about other people's experiences. Not to say people didn't give me their experiences and their childbirth horrors. People did. I had a C-section with both of my girls, and it was a voluntary C-section. I scheduled it, I set it up, I made that decision on my own for my own body. And so I will have to say that, to me, the stories that I heard about people having C-sections were pretty similar to my experience and pretty similar to what I went through. I don't know about natural births. I've heard about natural births, but I don't know them personally, so I can't really say whether or not they're true or far off or anything like that. But the experiences that I heard about C-sections, I would have to say were pretty accurate. Number 5, would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? Absolutely not. I did exactly what I wanted done. I chose the route that I wanted to have when I had both of my kids, and it was the easiest, simplest, and best recovery for myself, in my opinion. I don't know anything about any other way of having children, so I'm not here to say that one way is better than the other. It was a decision that I made for myself and for my body, and I 100% to this day support it. And I would do it 10 times over if I wanted 10 kids, which I don't. But I would do it over and over again. What would be your advice for someone who is about to have a baby? I think the number one thing that I would say to anybody that's having a baby is make sure that you make time to still date your spouse. And the reason I say that is because I think that it is so, so, so important to remember where you guys started. Because when you have a child, it puts a serious strain on your relationship. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it's true. It's a strain. You're not getting sleep, and there's a lot of anxiety and stress, and especially when it's your first one and you're all learning together, and it's a lot of stress and anxiety that gets put on a relationship. And so you have to find a happy medium in between that and remember where you guys were before and why you guys are together and why you have built what you've built. And I think that that's one of the most important things, aside from making sure that your children are happy and healthy. You have to make sure that your relationship is just as happy and healthy, because that's the solid foundation for those children. What has been the hardest thing about being a mom? Oh, man. Oh, I have to think about this one a little bit. I think the hardest thing for me is seeing many versions of myself. And Maya is very similar to me. Her and I are very much alike, and it can be a struggle sometimes because she does have her own personality and she is very stubborn and strong-willed, and it causes me to have to test my patience, and I've had to learn how to be more patient and understanding and communicate with pretty much a smaller version of yourself. And that's a really difficult thing to do. Sorry if you hear some noise in the background. My dishwasher's running, and this is where I'm sitting right now because it has obviously the best lighting, and I have my pretty views in the back. So it's in my kitchen, but sorry. Let's see. What has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? So the way I look at it is we're raising the next generation. So we're raising kids that are going to be around long after we're gone. And I think that it's really important to raise really honest, loving, caring human beings. And that is one thing that I can say that Maya is. Maya is a very loving, caring, she has so much empathy. And I think that those things are things that make a mom so proud, make parents in general so proud. There was this one instance about Maya she wanted to lose her tooth because she wanted the tooth fairy to come and give her $3. And I asked her why she wanted $3. That's a very specific number. Why do you want $3? And she says that one of her friends at school, her dad didn't have a job and her family needed money. So she wanted to give her friend $3 so her dad could buy a job. And at that moment, I realized that we had a child that was more caring and selfless than we thought. And I think that that is the most amazing thing ever, because to raise a child, a 6-year-old, that is so selfless that she's willing to give something of her own to somebody else to help their family made my heart full. I mean, that was exactly what we're shooting for. I mean, that's the idea, is to raise the next generation to be like that. And I was so proud. What was the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? Surprising thing. So I also want to let you guys know, I didn't read these beforehand. I'm reading them now for the first time so that I give you guys an honest and true explanation of my opinions. They're not thought out, so sorry if you were looking for some real deep thought out connections, because that's just not me. But I would say the most surprising thing for me is how much structure and routine keeps a family going. And I think that that's obvious right now, but even more so in our move when we noticed that we were, our whole routine had to change. I had to come up with a way to make a solid routine for our entire family to ensure that we all didn't go crazy and that everybody knew where they needed to be, when they needed to be there, and it kind of maintained control of our family. And I think that's one of the most surprising things. I never realized how much structure you needed when you had kids. I don't think that you necessarily need it, I guess. I think that it helps. How much structure helps when you have kids, and to maintain some sort of control over everything and your family and all of that. I don't think I ever realized how important that is. What is the best memory you have involving your child? So the best memory for me, for Maya, was a story I told you guys earlier about her tooth fairy story and her wanting to give money to her friend. I think that's an amazing thing, and I'm so, so proud of her for that. I think with Araya, she obviously is only one, so we're definitely in the process of growing. But I think for her, one of my best memories is when she first started saying Maya's name. And she doesn't say Maya, she says Yayo. I don't know why, Yayu. She makes things up. But she's talking about Maya. And for her to run around the house screaming Maya's name, it just melts my heart. And it makes me so content and full in our decision to have another one. And to have them be siblings. Because I just think that that is exactly what we wanted and exactly where we need to be. Not to say that when they're fighting, I don't regret my decisions. But we're going to have those, especially in a house of two girls. It's definitely going to happen. But I think that that, at least for now, is my favorite memory of her. And then also, obviously, when we brought her home and Maya met her for the first time. I think those two things are just memories that I won't ever forget. What is the most exciting milestone? So, with Maya, I think just watching her grow and learn as far as doing, more math problems and being able to read simple books to me. I just think that that's a huge milestone for her to be able to sit down and read a book to me. And it's not just this, the regular Go Dog Go books. She's reading, first grade, first step books all on her own to me. And that makes me so proud because that's a huge milestone for a child to learn how to read. For Araya, the big milestone that I'm so happy she finally hit was walking, which is so funny because most people are like, just wait until they walk and then you're going to regret it. And I mean, I agree. I was in no rush for her to walk, but she was 18 months, 19 months before she started walking. It took a really long time for her to walk. And that was because, she just didn't want to. And both of my girls are very stubborn and have a mind of their own. And if they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it. But that was a huge milestone that she hit that we were so happy she finally did. We weren't really worried about her. We realized that she has her own pace and all kids are different and all kids are learning and growing in a different rate. And that's one thing that is hard for parents sometimes, to be comparing to, well, my kid did this or my kid did this and oh, my friend's kid was doing this. And you have to take a step back and not do that, because it's not going to do you any good to be comparing your child to somebody else's child, simply because all kids are different and all kids do things differently and learn differently. And so that was a huge milestone that we were so happy that she hit. Maybe not now. We might wish we could go back, because now she's just a Tasmanian devil and just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and doesn't stop. What is the worst thing your child has ever done? I think that is a trap question, because it depends on what we're talking about here. I think the one story that I can think of as far as the worst thing that our kids have done, there isn't really a whole lot with Araya as of yet. Just wait. But with Maya, I think the worst thing that she's ever done is She was probably 2, almost 2. And I had gone to the bathroom and I came out and she had gotten into the Vaseline and she had scooped her hand so far and deep into that Vaseline and rubbed it all in her hair and rubbed it on her face, rubbed it on her body, just rubbed it everywhere. But it doesn't end there. She then had baby powder. She thought would be good to shake all over herself. You can imagine how long it took me to get that baby powder and Vaseline out of her hair. Days. It was awful. Worst thing ever. So when I hear that, that is the one story that I can remember clear as day being a nightmare. What habit did you wish your child didn't have? For Maya, it's not really a habit, it's more like a trait, but she licks her lips really bad when she focuses or concentrates. I do the same thing. I've done it since I was little. When I color, when I draw, when I write, when I am doing dishes, when I'm cleaning, when I'm focusing, when I'm not, I lick my lips. And not just simple like little licks. I mean, I lick my lips. Or I'll bite them when I'm stressed, or so I get a little rash from licking my lips. I don't so much now as an adult because I consciously am able to stop myself. As a child, I did have super red chapped lips, chapped under my lips constantly from just licking my lips. Maya does that same thing. She does it when she colors and focuses and concentrates really hard. And so that may be one thing that I wish that maybe she didn't have of mine, only because it causes for dry skin, bad lips, and just not good times. But it's not the worst thing in the world, so she'll get through it, it's fine. But that's one thing that I could think probably. I don't know about Araya. She doesn't really have many other habits other than screaming when she doesn't get what she wants. And we're working on that, so yeah. What habits of theirs makes you the most proud? So my daughter, Maya, is very good at drawing. My dad is an artist. He is very good at what he does. And Maya has definitely learned from that. And she absolutely loves to draw. She loves to color. She loves to draw. She loves to make things. She loves to craft. And she's very, very creative. And that is one thing that I am so thankful she has, because we need more creative people in this world. And I am not that. So I'm glad that she has that trait and she's able to create things and draw things. And I mean, she's only 6, so there's plenty of room to grow. I will say she does get frustrated very easily when things do not go her way or she messes up, and we're working on that, and we're trying to, you know, teach her that it's okay to make mistakes and to just erase it and start over. So that is one trait that I'm really happy that she has. As far as Araya, I can't think of anything as of yet. I think that she's still growing into her habits and into her own set personality. And so it's sort of just, it's in the making. Do you share any similarities with your child, both physical and personality? So some may say that both my kids have my attitude. Oops. So there's that. Physically, both of my kids have my round face. I have a very round face, and both of my girls also have that. As far as other than that, Araya looks a little more like me as far as in my face than Maya did or does. But both of them have very strong Peruvian genes. And so I didn't really get lucky in that department. But that's okay. They got some traits from me. like my round face and my lips. Good enough. But as far as habits go, both of my girls have a very massive attitude. And I would like to say they get that from their dad, but I think anybody that knows me is going to disagree. So I will be honest here, it probably does come from me. But aside from that, I think that they are all very strong-willed and very independent, which I pride myself on being. And so I think those are two things that they also get from me, but the rest of it, they probably get from their dad. Where would you like your child to be in 10 years? So in 10 years, Maya will be 16. I don't like the sound of that. But I would hope that she would have a job, depending on how she's doing in school and what she's doing in school. If she's doing extracurricular activities and doing things like that, doing really good in school, I don't expect her to be working. I expect her to be focusing on her schooling as well as her extracurricular activities, whatever those end up being that she wants to do. But I hope that she has a strong work ethic, and I think that that will come with her working and understanding that nothing comes easy and nothing comes free. And I think that's one thing that we've had a hard time doing thus far, is teaching our kids that, like, we spoil our kids. There's no doubt about it. We give them a lot of what they want, and that's a good thing. But we also want to teach them that it doesn't come easy, and it's not just because it's there, it's because we worked very hard to get it. And so I think as she gets older, we're going to teach her that, and I hope that by the time she's 16, she realizes and then grateful for the things that she has and understands that you have to work really hard to get where you're at, and it's not handed to you. Nothing in life is free, and she's focusing really hard on doing school and getting good grades and being an active member of society. As far as Araya, she'll be, in 10 years, she'll be 11. And I hope by that point that we just have her into what she's interested in, whether it be dance, gymnastics, karate, whatever she chooses that she wants to do. Have her in some sort of extracurricular activities, keeping her focused in school, and just being a kid. I think that it's really important that kids are sometimes just kids. What is something that having a child has taught you? Patience. Well, some might disagree. My kids might disagree and say that I have less patience. But patience is one thing that kids have definitely taught me. The other thing is it has taught me to care about more than just myself. And I think I've always done that. I think that I've always been a fairly selfless person. But after having kids, I think you become more selfless than you ever thought you would be, because everybody comes before you. Your kids come before you, your family, your household, just everything becomes something different. And so it definitely has taught me to be patient and continue to be less selfless. Did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age you became a mom? You know, I never thought that I would have kids. It wasn't the first thing on my mind. I was also in my early 20s, so it wasn't really the thing that I was thinking about at the time, but it happened. And I'm very thankful that it happened the way that it happened and at the age that it happened, because now I am going to be a young mom. I'm going to be a mom that is in her 40s when both my kids graduate. And that makes me so, so thankful. But I never thought that I would be where I'm at now 29 years old with 2 kids. I didn't. But I'm so thankful that it happened that way. Describe your child in a single sentence. For Maya, I would say strong-willed, giving child. For Araya, I would say she's a Tasmanian devil with a loving heart. And the last question is, have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? I would like to say I haven't, although I probably have. I think that when you become a mom, you change your thought processes on things and on life and on just sort of everything around you, but not in a bad way, in my opinion. I think that I grew a lot as a person. I became a lot more mature because not only I had somebody else to take care of, and I had to make decisions for another human being. And I think at 23 years old, I was like, okay, I think I can do this, but I had to grow up. Not that I had not already been grown up. I had been living on my own. Well, I'd been living with Daniel, and we had our life. And so I had already kind of grown up a little bit, but once you have kids, you kind of have to put your big girl pants on and become a completely different person. And that's not a bad thing. I think that I still have parts of me that are the old me, and I think anybody that knows me knows that I have that wild side. Sorry. But I think that there's a happy balance between all of that. And when you become a mom, you can't lose sight of your true self. And that was the one thing that I always said, even when I was pregnant with Maya. The one thing that I said was, I will never be just a mom. I don't want to be just a mom. I want to be myself. I want to be Tia, and I want to be able to have stuff of my own, which is why I did enjoy working back in Alaska. That's why I enjoy doing my YouTube now, because I have something that's mine, that I've done, that I've worked for, that I'm growing on, that's making me my own single person aside from being just a mom. Because when you lose sight of yourself and you're just focused on being a mom, that can be depressing. And some people are like that. Some people enjoy that. Some people want to just have their entire lives around their kids. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I'm just saying that I had to have something else that was my own, that made me feel like a single person and not just a mom. And that was my one goal that I had when I was pregnant with Maya, that I've succeeded with, because I am not just a mom. And I want other people to feel that same way. And that's sort of why I started this, because I want to build a community and a family on YouTube that is more than just a mom. We do other things and we enjoy things and we are humans. So that, I guess, is a long-winded answer to that last question. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little mom interview and get to know me a little bit more. Please comment below if there's any other videos you guys want to see or anything that you would like to see come from my channel. And I am hoping to have a few review videos and possibly more routine videos or what we eat videos or different things like that. So please comment below and let me know what you guys think I should be doing next. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Please join this mom community that I'm trying to build, and just a community in general, a community of YouTube creators or YouTube family that I needed during my time in my transition and my move and all of that. So that's kind of why this whole thing started. But I'll stop blabbing on now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
I'm trying to do is say I love you, ooh, 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 and all the things that you do, ooh, ooh, sounds like a fool 'cause when you touch my hair, the words goes away. What I am trying to do is say I love you. You don't know how I shiver inside. Doesn't show, but my nerves are inside out. It's because you're not worth less than perfection. Ooh, thought it was.